Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel here. Arit is behind the scenes, and welcome to the Essetino Weekly Mastermind, episode number 105. So today we've got a special guest here. That's why it's me interviewing. And don't worry, you will see Arit again. Next week we don't have a guest scheduled, so it'll be back to me and Arit. But we've been wanting to try out this whole new interview series and get some fresh new faces on the Essetino Weekly Mastermind. So we've got a special one for you guys tonight. If you saw the title, you may have a clue as to who it is, but let's say hello to some people and let's share some wins for the week. So we like to go off of the high energy, the high vibes, and let's share some of those wins while we say hello. So, whoa, we've got a full plethora of comments already. Here we go. That's what I like to see before the show even starts. All right, so we've got Lisa in the house. All right, you will have an open house at your home on Saturday and Sunday. Fingers crossed that you get some offers on your home and that you can sell it. And we've got Brenda in the house. Hey Brenda, how's it going? What are some wins that you've got this week? And Arit's it behind the scenes in the chat. So if you see Essetino Media, that's Arit. And we've got here the productive church worker. I believe that's Dawn. Digging in deep with Dawn, I believe. Awesome. So is this a new channel or you changed your previous channel name? Let me know. And we've got here Jojo in the house. Hey Jojo, how's it going? Good to see you as always. And Monica's in the house. Hey Monica, Monica watching from Facebook. And we've got here, it's Braden. It's Braden. And he's got a new channel called Everyday Carry Planet. What is that about? Please let us know. It's Braden. My win is that I finally started a YouTube channel. Everybody clap at their homes. Give a virtual, silent, but also real life clap. All right, and we've got Tracy in the house. Hey Tracy, how's it going? Great interview last week, by the way. Hearing your story and stuff, that was really cool. Starting a 4-day holiday weekend, awesome. And people are saying, way to go, Braden. We've got some emoji claps going on here. Let me share a couple of my wins. It's not, well, I guess it's a win because it was a cool, unique experience. So yesterday, I went to the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, but it was different in a way that it was Harry Potter 2, the very last movie, the Deathly Hallows movie. And you know how that movie has amazing cinematic scoring of music, right? Really, really crazy music going on in there. And so they have the movie playing in the Orpheum, and then below the screen, there's like 50 musicians, and they're all part of the VSO, which is the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. And they're playing the Harry Potter 2 music live while you are watching the movie. It's such a unique movie experience. It's like you're watching the movie, but then when a crazy epic scene comes on, like a battle scene or a sad scene, the orchestra just starts playing and is all the instruments. And it's wild to see like that entire stage was like just filled with so many people, so many different instruments. And I was super impressed with the conductor who is, orchestrating the whole thing. He stood in the middle, like on a little podium thing for the entire movie. That movie is 3.5 hours long, and he's moving his arms and, directing all the different people, right? Because without him, they would probably not sound very good. But props to him because he was just up there waving his hands the whole time. And I was like so impressed that he did that for 3.5 hours. There was an intermission, but still, like pretty much 90 minutes each time. It was pretty crazy. And had a bunch of YouTube coaching clients. Those are always rewarding to work one-on-one with our YouTube coaching students. we really get to know their journey and exactly like what they need to, the next steps that they need to do. And so we give homework each call, and you're not allowed to book the next call until you finish your homework. And so it's very rewarding when the student moves forward with the progress, and that they actually are, getting value and getting a show up. And this particular student, they are creating an interview show about photography, about award-winning photography. And it's going to be coming out next week. And we should probably have him on the show as a guest probably in September or October. So that is something I'm looking forward to, to hear the behind the scenes of the photographer talking about their winning shot. Like, these are amazing photography that you see in magazines, like that, get recognized. So it's really cool about that. Those are my wins. Let's hit up some other people's wins here. People are still congratulating Braden. We've got MD Reacts in the house here. Win for getting it done north of 7, past 9,000 subs. That's amazing. You're almost at the 10K subs. And I tell you, things change when you hit 10K, both how people look at you as a YouTuber, the opportunities that you get, momentum, starts to really happen. Opportunities get grander. So that's really cool. Every Carry Planet is a channel about items and gadgets that people can carry and use daily. So interesting, super niche. That's so cool. We'll definitely subscribe to your channel here. I can't subscribe while I'm on StreamYard, but I will watch the replay and subscribe to your channel, Braden. But that's really cool. Excited for your channel. People are congratulating. Sorry if I'm like moving slow and stuff. It's like StreamYard is slightly glitchy. And so when I try to click on something, it's like robot. Win from Arit, behind the scenes. Win. Got another client this past week from a lady who saw our Adobe video and wanted to hire us to create a fillable form for her business. Yeah, so we got another one of those. And again, if you've ever seen any one of my Adobe tutorials, they're usually less than 5 minutes. And it's very basic, but I do say the line, hey, if you like this form that I'm designing, if you like this form that's on here on Adobe, my business partner is a designer, graphic designer, and she can make one of these. I'm not even selling my own services. I'm selling someone else's services. And, we get a lot of people messaging us for that. Yes, it is Dawn here. Everybody's saying thank you. Monica, who is the city real estate investor, participated in a real estate investors camping trip. Whoa, that's cool. That must have been really fun. Where did you go camping? And did you do any like cool activities? I remember when I went to camp in elementary school, we got to go kayaking, canoeing, zip lining, exploring the forest, that kind of thing. Everybody is loving all the wins here. Everybody's supporting each other. And we've got Phil Wyatt Projects in the house reading some good wins. Yeah, I know, right? It's like gets exciting reading all these wins here. And last one here before we bring our special guest on screen is here. Win from Brenda. Win. I feel proud of the videos I'm turning out. Subs are steady, not on fire, but I am 18 subs away from 500. And I think that there is positivity in having a steady growth. Our whole entrepreneurial career has been a steady growth. Nothing really has like exploded, you know what I mean? Like the journey has been happening since 2011. Even when we started our YouTube channel in 2015, it was not until 2018 where things started to really happen. And sometimes it seems like, oh, they just exploded, but it's like we've been uploading for 3 years, so it looks like it exploded. We've got another win here. Started my first episode on the second channel and taking our profitable channel course. Awesome. I'm glad you are enjoying the course. Definitely ask questions in the group. And that is the system. That is our system. And we share it with you, whoever's watching it. All right. So let us bring our special guest here and let's hear their story. Let's hear what they have to say. We are doing these interviews because we want to share other people's stories, perspectives, what they have to say. And let's bring them on here. We've got
Hey, how are
Timothy
you?
is in the house. Hey, Timothy, how's it going?
Doing great. It's great to see you and talk to everyone. And I'm very excited to be
Awesome.
part of this mastermind group.
Yeah. So, when I put out, who wants to be interviewed here on the show, you also said you wanted to. So why did you want to be on the show as a guest?
Well, it's just such a positive thing. For me, it's almost like being recharged every Thursday. Because as you know, being an entrepreneur online, whether you're an artist or just different genres, it's the same. You don't have a lot of positivity, and people are going to work and they'll ask you the question, so what do you do? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, so where do you work? Oh, you're home. Oh, yeah. So
That kind of that reaction.
yes. And you remember how you said how your family was a while ago, like they're on board but they're not quite on board. They're like, oh, I don't know what you're doing, don't. And so yeah, I every Thursday night I come to the mastermind group, and I'm just so encouraged and recharged, and knowing that I'm not alone, that I'm
Mhm.
not just this island doing my own thing, hearing Ori and yourself and everyone out there, Ryan, and just seeing all the wonderful messages and the wins really spurs me on and gets me pumped up every Thursday night.
That's amazing. And for those of you who don't know, you are an artist of many kinds because it's not just airbrushing that you do, right? You do other kinds of art as well.
Yeah, airbrush actually came out. I only started doing that about 12 years ago. I was a classically trained painter, scholarship student the whole way here in New York City, and I exhibited in art museums and
Wow.
exhibited in galleries in New York City. Have about 50 awards, national, international, for pastel. And then there was like a big paradigm shift in my life in 2010. And in 2010, like my life kind of turned upside down. And so I decided to pick up a whole new medium. And when I started doing it, there was this really cool online community. I was doing YouTube videos since 2008, but sporadically. And then all of a sudden, when I got really good at airbrushing, I seen that there was a need for airbrush tutorials that had a fine art spin to it,
Hmm.
because I'm a fine artist and most airbrush artists are commercial artists. So I actually found my niche because I used to work with India Ink with uh, with my pastel paintings. So I said, why don't I do India Ink with the airbrush? And that's how everything kind of happened.
Crazy. And so have you always been this talented at your art even when you were a kid?
Yeah, my earliest recollection was me drawing. I'm talking like 3 years old, and
Wow.
most kids want to be firemen, want to be baseball players, and it's not like I wanted to be an artist. It just was something I always was, you know.
Crazy. I wonder do you still have some of your drawings from when you were a kid?
No, I don't. I
That would be
don't.
so cool to look at, right?
Yeah, I have some of my old ones somewhere. I think down in the basement from
Mhm.
like high school, like like the portfolio that got me into art school, that sort of thing. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the earliest work I have now is probably from like 2000, 2001, around
Okay.
that time. Yeah.
Wow. And you said that you exhibited at various art galleries. In the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, I used to do work for this art gallery owner in Vancouver, and I
Wow.
used to do his Twitter. I used to, yeah, I'm not really associated with Twitter these days, but back then I did used to tweet, and I did have a Twitter account, and I would run their this art gallery's Twitter, and I would just tweet when he'd have new exhibitions and stuff, and I would attend the exhibitions, and they're so cool. Like seeing the people's art displayed. It's a really unique experience, and I would recommend people go check out an art gallery exhibit. It's inspiring what the art that people put out there.
So you've always been around art, I can see. It's I from knowing you over like the last year and a half,
Hmm.
and I really see that it's always your creative passion is always behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely not at a professional level like you. I would say I'm super like amateur and just like a hobbyist when it comes to art. But in school, I was always, wanting to mold things out of clay, do sculptures, paper mache. When I would paint, it would usually be like painting something that's like 3D. I wasn't really like painting a picture type thing. But yes, I've and it, doing mosaic art, construction paper stuff, anything that really interests me. And recently, I tried out fluid art painting, like fluid pour painting,
Oh yes, I've seen that. That's cool.
because I really like abstract art,
Yeah,
and because I have a potential to be able to do that as well. Pouring the paints and stuff.
of course.
And I want to try out something that I'm going to be making for. We recently hit 10 million views on our channel. And
That's
so I
amazing.
wanted to get like a big, I don't know what the size is, a big frame, and then have the frame, like a thick frame, but like have fluid pour painting all around it, and then have the image of the 10 million views in the middle. And
You're
kind
super
of like this
creative.
random art project.
No, you're super creative. You always think outside the box, and that's really good. There's different kinds of artists. I'm not a think outside the box kind of artist. Very much business as usual. I wake up, I go to the studio, I work. But artists like yourself who can see things and kind of come at it a different direction and have all like the ideas you did with the your baby sister's baby shower with the nautical thing. I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
do that. There's no way I would do that. I'd be like, I have no idea. I'll draw you somebody like a sailor. That's it. You know?
Yeah, I know. Like, well, that one came, I didn't plan on that, right? Like, we were trying to buy, like little small gifts for people to go along with the giveaways at, those kinds of parties.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find small, cool looking sailboats. And I
No.
kept like looking on Amazon and this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just make it. And then it ended up being like a 2 month thing, like hours upon hours, like
Oh,
making the sails and like
it was amazing. It was like a whole theme. It was really fantastic. And the
yeah,
colors, you had the color coordinated, like colors of the sea, which was really fantastic.
yeah, it just came to me. Sometimes like when I'm really into something, I can just, yeah, do that kind of, I call it random art, whatever appeals to me at the moment. And yeah, it's a lot of fun for me, and that's how I get my creative juices out. But I do wish that I can do stuff like you. You guys check out behind him. Look at that stuff. Like, your art looks so realistic. It's
Oh,
almost like a picture sometimes. Like your profile picture initially, I thought it was a picture, but it was
oh,
an airbrush painting, right?
yes. Oh, no, that one's a pastel. So
Okay,
most of the color
pastel.
work are pastel paintings. But yeah, I mean, it's nice that, I think everyone's creative, and I think it spills out when you love what you're doing,
Hmm.
right? When I see you and Ori, you guys love what you're doing, and her creativity spills out, and your creativity spills out. And I think it manifests itself when we are where we're supposed to be. I know I was at jobs which I despised and hated, and
Mm-hmm.
my creativity was totally stunted there.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I didn't leave corporate. Corporate left me because they closed down my division. So I was forced to, I had a severance, and I was forced to, I said, I'm going to really make it serious with YouTube. So I got an expensive camera, I got good lights, I got good sound, went on YouTube, got every tutorial on it, and just really hit the ground running. Started on January 16th, 2017. And
Wow.
so from there, I basically posted at least once a week.
That's
And
amazing.
and I went from 800 subscribers to almost 4,000. I mean, that's not great, but like you said, steady growth is still growth, right?
Yes, and I will say you have a very strong live streaming community. You've definitely built that. I remember, when I first went on your streams and everybody's like fully into what you're doing, watching. I love how you do the stages of an art piece, right? You're like start from the beginning and then you just go and do these live streams until you finish it. And I'm not sure if people are following along or doing the same thing as you, but your audience seemed very engaged with your live stream, and you make it fun and you're
Uh,
casually talking to people, but at the same I wouldn't be able to talk and do the art at the same time, because when I do my art, I'm like silent.
it's funny you should say that. So I'm trained. So since a little boy, well, not a little boy, like 14 years old, I've been taking serious art classes. And I lived in New York City. And one thing was I had to take the subway and buses. And my teacher, Erwin Greenberg, was my high school teacher, and he advocated that we draw on the subways.
Oh,
And so I would every morning on my commute, I would draw, and you can only do like maybe 35 seconds. You do these really quick drawings and really fast, and nothing is louder than New York City during rush hour. And doing that for 8 years, and now I could basically have a full blown conversation with 7 people and work on a painting.
that is amazing. That's so cool.
But I can't make oatmeal because that's too difficult. It's like specific things I'm good at.
Wow, that was a good training tip from your teacher to do that. Because I'm sure that the subways in New Jersey or New York, they're crazy, right? They're
New York
probably
City, yeah,
wild.
nuts. Because I went to high school in New York City, and it was crazy. And so, like with the live stream and doing it, so it's so funny because when you start out small with the live stream, I had like maybe one person or 2 people. And there were some times when I'm talking to myself because I figure it's going to be recorded. So here I am talking to myself during the live streams. But one person, then 2 person, then five, and then I started teaching classes, so my students started coming in, and then it sort of grew and grew and grew.
That's so cool. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned from your stream as well with the community. You know, it's so strong, and people are just like so into the art. It's so cool to see. Like I said, I'm nowhere near the caliber of you for art, but I still enjoy watching you, and just everybody's like rooting each other on in the comments all the time.
Yes, and funny story, and I'm going to tell my story, and I want you guys to tell yours. Funny story, I'm working on one of my first India ink live streams, and I'm painting, and I spill water all over my painting, like, like
Oh my gosh.
during a live stream with like 10 people there. And I didn't curse, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? So I, I said, hold on. I went and got a napkin, and then I blotted it, and then I got a hair dryer, and I dried it, and it worked out. But the thing is, that was like my disaster on a live stream because anything can happen during a live broadcast. Am I right?
Yes, well, I've told this one before where I was drinking coconut water on the live stream, and then all of a sudden I just started choking. Like it went down the wrong tube. I
Oh,
just was choking really bad that I had to leave the room because it was like I couldn't control it. It was like one of those coughing mania sessions, and
oh,
I just had to leave. And even though I left, you could still hear me coughing in the background, like, just trying to get the coconut water out.
oh my God. Yeah. So what advice do you have for people starting out in the live stream and something goes wrong? What would be your advice?
I think that it's inevitable that something is going to happen. And even the past two live streams ago, that first one where we tried to get Tracy on the show. So, it was like the second interview that I hadn't done in a while. And I have to say that I was a little bit nervous about doing interviews again because I hadn't done them in a long time. I'm good at being a guest on other people's show, but I'm still working on being a host when I have a guest on our show. And so I was already like a little bit nervous for the second guest live stream with Tracy, and then it wasn't working, and then I'm trying to do the show, and I could see there's issues going on in the background, or Reed's chatting in the private chat. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm getting distracted, right? So you know how you can have 7 people talking and you can do art? I get distracted really easily when I see little small things going on,
Yeah.
especially like all the issues. So I mean, I powered through it. I did the best that I could. And, the thing is, you have to kind of expect that it's going to happen because it will. You can't always be 100 for 100. You're going to likely miss a shot, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you just try again. And then we did. The next week after, we tried again. And, behind the scenes, both Tracy and I were talking, and we're like, you know what? I think it was supposed to happen this week and not the week before, because we both had better energy. It was flowing, and she was more prepared because she was also pretty nervous. So, it works out if you continue to get better, right? Because you're not going to be good right off the bat. Maybe you are, but most of us, no. I mean, I had no idea how to speak on my first live stream, and it was weird because there was no one there, and you're just talking to yourself, and you're like, what do you say next after nobody said anything?
Yeah. You're like, this stinks. I'm out of here. Yeah. You feel that
Exactly.
way, don't you? You feel like, what am I doing? But you go through with it, right?
Exactly. And, here we are 105 episodes later. And
Yeah.
previous to that, 65 live streams straight, like 65 days straight. So it's really time and exposing yourself to, maybe not doing as well. There were many streams where I would get off stream and I'm like, oh, that wasn't a good one. I didn't really have the energy flow. but,
Right.
but then started to become less and less, and then it started to become, oh, that was a great one, oh man, the energy was so good, it just flowed out. And so, and I'm still going to have bad live streams, even though I've done this 105 times. 103 was the one that wasn't was the most recent one. But you just have to power through, because at the end of the day, I know that people enjoy these live streams. They enjoy the energy, they enjoy the positivity. And I know that it's okay that, I didn't feel that great, but people enjoyed it and they had like a good fun time watching the show. So I always try and think of it that way when I feel that I didn't perform as well.
I think your live streams are always amazing. And you said 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know there was anything different until you mentioned it. So you had it under control. Just like internally, you were like, "Oh my God, all this stimulus."
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I hope that I hit it because I didn't want to make you guys feel awkward, but I was definitely feeling nervous and awkward.
No, you didn't hear anything at all. Um, so how I actually found YouTube as an artist. This is back in 2007, no, 2008. I was in Barnes and Noble, and there was an art magazine, Art Business, and it talked about one of the first YouTube artists, and her name was Val's Art Diary. Do you remember her? She was really big. She was huge.
What kind of art did she do?
like abstract art and kind of fun. She would make funny voices. And in the beginning, she would
Maybe.
say, "Eat your cookies."
Oh.
And it was really funny. And she had all these funny, and she had her little dogs, but she used it as a vehicle to sell her art. And
Yeah.
that's what that little bit of that little germ of an idea, what I got from her. And then I was like, okay, now I'm getting my camera. And I started back in 2008, but didn't really do it full force. But yeah, I mean, it has been going on since 2008, 2007, where artists were doing it. But oh, one thing advice I would give to live streamers, and this is a funny thing, and it happens to me all the time. So I'm on live stream, and then one person says, "I can't hear you," and I'm like, "Oh my God, let me go ahead and change my mic." And now I'm done. Like my mic is like totally messed up. No one hears me. So that happened to me like several times.
Wait, so you're saying that we should wait for several people to say that you can't hear you so that you know it's for sure, or don't touch the mic at all?
No, yes. So a little bit of both. So when they say that, say, okay, I want to know anyone else having the same issue. And
Yeah.
and 99% of the time they're like, everything's fine. And I'm like, okay, you fix it. But before they would be like, oh, the sound is too low. I'm hearing vibration. And I'm like, oh my God. And then before you know it, my live stream is destroyed.
Because you're trying to fix it.
Yes, and then the mic goes out, the camera goes out, and that has happened probably about 7 times. But now I'm smart to it.
So when it went horribly wrong, were you like, oh, I can't do this anymore, like I'm too embarrassed, or you're just like, whatever, next show?
Oh yeah, that's like no problem. I'll see you guys later. Sorry. This
And
concludes our broadcast day. That's basically it.
I think that's the kind of attitude that you need to have, is just like, yeah, it happened, whatever, move on to the next stream or next video or next filming, whatever it is, really, right?
Isn't it great you're your own boss? So if you screw up, so what? You for me it's always if I mess up, it's always like, okay, what can I learn from this so it don't happen next time? And I kind of get like really tenacious and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this better. One of the reasons why I went so heavily into live streams, I don't know if you remember the adpocalypse of
Yes.
2018. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
I was so upset because I had AdSense. I had revenue sharing back in 2009
Yeah.
because I had this one video that had 60,000 views and then
Hmm.
they gave me the ad. So, but the thing is, when Adpocalypse happened, I didn't have the 4,000 watch hours. So
Oh, so they took it away from you.
they took it away from me and I
Oh,
was
that
so
sucks.
mad.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go live stream and I'm going to do the best live streams I possibly can. And at
Hmm.
that time, I kind of leveled off of my recorded videos. But before then, I was doing mostly recorded videos.
Hmm.
So it's different going that route. And it kind of shaped my channel because my channel is mainly a live stream channel.
Yeah. So your channel is usually people are doing pre-recorded and they're not usually a live stream.
Yes.
And because it's scary for people to go live, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's happening. Whatever's happens, happens, right?
Yes.
And it's like the water, me choking on the coconut water, which is funny now. It's a good story now. Like I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's a good one to share with people because, when we have students and they're like, what are your thoughts on live streaming? And it's definitely like I recommend it because it allows you to be pretty real and authentic with people because they're seeing you in real time, you know
Yes.
and but they're really nervous about it, and then I always tell the coconut water story, and it usually calms them down. They're like, oh, okay,
Good.
well, if you choked so bad on coconut water, then I should be okay, at least.
I know I got those little bits of coconut. That's what's the problem, right? That's
I
just a
know.
bad idea, putting little bits of coconut in there. I don't know. I just,
And
yeah.
I don't drink coconut water on live streams anymore. Like this is just like a fruit drink right now.
Oh, good.
But no small little coconut pieces.
See, just now, so we're having this, and my keyboard fell. I don't know if you guys heard that. All of a sudden, like, ba-dum, So you just never know what's going to happen during the live stream, and that's what makes it exciting and organic, and more exciting than for me, just
Yeah.
more exciting, and I get to interact with the people, answer their questions right away, and so with the live streams, I am able to sell my own design of an airbrush. I have my own inks that I made. So
Yeah, that's so cool. You make the ink yourself.
yes, I invented the whole thing. These are diluted perfectly for an airbrush painting. So you would have the detail mix in the beginning, and then you would have the light mix in the middle, and then towards the end you would have the medium, and then for the very end the dark mix for the dark accents.
Hmm.
And then I also came up this year with Sepia Inks, so that's another one. That one hasn't been as exciting as hasn't taken off as quickly as the India inks, but it's really cool that my followers, they trust me, and to gain that trust, they'll buy stuff off of me. And
Yeah.
that's what makes me feel really good, that I gain their trust. And so I think a live stream, you can do that a lot quicker than if you were just doing videos, because just doing videos, you're kind of detached from them.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I suggest doing both for
Me
sure.
too. Yes.
And that's so cool. I'm a little interested with the inks there. Like how is it that one makes their own ink? Like that's fascinating to me.
Yes. Now, I don't produce my own ink, but I take an ink brand and I use that with several other ingredients so it flows beautifully through the airbrush.
Okay.
And because it has to be a certain consistency, it has to dry a certain way, and it has to have a certain value when it leaves the airbrush. And so my airbrush actually goes with the inks, and I work them together. And then the live stream actually shows off the inks, so it kind of
Yeah.
all works together. And I sell the papers, and I sell. I'm trying to get the video out where I can do digital downloads. That's my Achilles heel right now, but
Mm.
I am not giving up. I'm not giving up.
So you're having issues with creating a digital download?
Yes, because my video, so I already did it. It's 5 hours long. And so, oh my goodness. I'm used to like editing like 30-minute
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
right? And now this is 5 hours. And there's so many different things. So if you live in a city kind of area, you have neighbors. So I'll be giving the voiceover, and all of a sudden I hear ruff, 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 and I'm like, you know?
Yeah.
So,
No, I know. There's like a siren going off, someone screaming outside. Yeah.
and then in the summer, you hear the air conditioner. I don't want that. But if I don't have the air conditioner on in the summer, then I'm pouring sweat. Now, these are all excuses. I
Yeah.
can figure a way how to do it. So that's what I'm going to do. There's no excuses. I'm going to get it done.
As long as you're, like you said, persevering towards it, right? And that you are working towards getting it completed. And I can already hear you will get it completed. I believe you when you say that it is going to happen.
You guys, you and Ori really inspire me, because you do these courses and they're so good, and they're so compartmentalized, and they're easy to digest. So that spurs me on, and and I've been working on landing pages, which I'm learning from you guys how wonderful they are. And so that's one of the things to join this channel on Thursday nights. It's not just inspiring, like encouraging, that's great, but it's also information too. The importance of landing pages, click
Mhm.
funnels. I know you talked about that a lot,
Mhm.
and if it goes in back of my mind, and then it kind of germinates, and then I get some books from the library, and so it's very exciting to be part of the mastermind because it helps me to grow as an entrepreneur. And so, and I can see sometimes I say to myself, I'm not that much of an entrepreneur, but I look at other artists in the industry, and I don't even have anybody near me as far as being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good because sometimes I'll look at the whole entrepreneurial world and say, oh no, look at me. But
Yeah.
I think we have to step back and see how far we come, and then we can get encouraged by it.
Yeah, and I think there's I know that it's hard sometimes, like when you're an artist and like they're entrepreneur and it's like, oh, they don't mesh, or oh, I'm gonna be a sellout or something like that. But I embrace both sides, and yeah, it actually makes you unique because you can actually stand out. And I remember when we first started, we wanted to get rid of the phrase starving artist, because
Mm.
people always say that. And I'm like, you don't have to be. This is the day and age for sure for that, especially. And do you think that it's saturated on YouTube for artists?
It is in the sense that everyone and their brother are doing tutorials,
Mhm.
and I think it's so watered down in the art world that a
Mhm.
lot of people shouldn't be doing tutorials because they're giving information that is terrible.
Mhm.
And being an educated, classically educated, uh, I think it's important to give people that. See, I was hearing this one guy. His name's Sean Tucker. He's a photographer on YouTube. He's very good, and he was saying that you still have to follow your heart, and because if you follow your heart, then you're not going to run out of gas. And I see so many people run out of gas. And how many times do you go onto a channel and they say, hey guys, I know it's been a minute since I last posted my video. I mean, don't you hear that all the time? It's like 6 months.
Yeah.
And they have like 2 million subscribers. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm really busy. It's been 4 months and you haven't posted a video. And I think that kind of burnout can happen. Do always what you believe in and stick to your guns, and
Mhm.
don't get confused about what's out there, because there's always, and in the beginning I was thinking, do I have to be zany? Do I have to wear like those glasses and funny hats? What do I have to do? Then I was
That
like,
would be funny to wear those things.
those ones that kind of like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
the
great.
googly eyes, yeah.
So, and I thought of that, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to continue doing this every week forever, then I have to just be me,
Yes.
regardless of what that is, And we have to accept it first, and then others will accept it. Even if it's a small group, I'd rather have a small group that's all in
Yeah.
than have everyone and say, "What's the next joke, Tim?" And Tim, you didn't fall during the last episode.
Yeah, right? That's how people lose themselves. That's how when you start doing stuff like that, and you didn't want to do that, in the first place.
Yeah, it's so true. And then, as far as my YouTube videos, there's a lot of people in the airbrush industry. They go ahead and do everything. They do a bumper, an airbrush on a bumper. They airbrush a cup. They airbrush this. They
Mm.
do everything. One person even went and airbrushed ornaments,
Oh, okay.
Christmas ornaments, and I have nothing against that. But for me, I don't want to, and this is a bad word, I don't want to placate the audience. I want to amplify what I do, but
Mhm.
have the intention of giving 100% to them because I see value in my viewer. and I want to give them that value. One person said that when you have your viewer, you should picture them in your head of what
Hmm.
their needs are, what are their frustrations. And for me, a lot of I picture my viewer, and it's somebody who is having a rough time with art. They feel like they're not good, they don't have talent. So for me, when I'm looking at the camera, I'm like, you have a lot of talent. If I can do this, you can do this. And
Hmm.
let's do it together. If you have any questions, I don't care how small it is or how big, please ask me. And everyone who emails me, I get back to immediately.
Amazing.
And I think that's what makes my channel special. And I think that's the loyalty that I have because they can sense that I care, you know?
Yeah, that's the same thing for us as well. People can sense that we actually care about people's success. It's not about, oh, buy my course and then I'll help you. It's like they actually, and even if you do, and it doesn't stop there. Like we go above and beyond, and we know that. And
Yeah.
we've actually been told, like, hey, you guys go like way over the top for people. Maybe you should like pull it back and like charge way more. And like, yes, we do have a high ticket item, and that's fine for people who want to go down that route. But I feel good doing how I do things, and maybe there will be a time that comes where I do need to pull it back because it's too crazy. But for now, like I like helping people as much as I can because I would want someone to help me. I do it how I would like to be treated.
But you guys are amazing because you say when it gets big, you got 50,000 subscribers, right?
Yeah, and we do get a lot of messages from every which direction, but
How amazing are you? Like 50,000 subscribers. I mean, being a YouTuber from since 2009, 2008, I see how amazing it is because of, you can do video, I can do video over video and I get 200, 300 views or something like that. But to get that many subscribers is really incredible. When I found you guys, which was back in 2016 or 17, and I bought this newer gimbal,
yeah.
right? And I couldn't get that thing balanced to save my life. It was like,
Yeah.
and so,
It's such a weird contraption.
oh, it is with those little weights and then going like this. And I was like, I had no patience. But your video was the only one that made sense because you were talking like a real person. You weren't saying, well, the flux capacitor over here, and then you want to get that over there, and all this craziness. You guys would just like, hey, we had problems with this. This is how we did it. And it worked for me. But a week later, I gave it back. I sent it back to Amazon, but I got some good shots out of it only because of you guys. And
And that's crazy that video is how you found us.
yes, and then you were so cool that I just followed you. And it wasn't like you were in a niche that I was normally needing at that
Yeah.
time, but I followed you because you guys were really cool. And so
Yeah.
when I watch your videos, I was like, wow, that's a really good video. That's really, and then eventually by following you, I saw some videos that applied to me, and I'm like, oh, great. But you guys were always on my timeline. And I think that's the important thing is about connection and about, being real with people, right?
Mhm. That's the thing with me is like I always want to be real with people. It bothers me so much when like I don't want to be fake. I want. That's why when people say like, oh, they're just a scammer trying to sell their course, I'm like, come on, like have a one-on-one call with me and then call me a scammer.
Exactly. And, now just this last year, I'm starting to get the hecklers.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was very lucky not to have them for this long, but now this year, when you get perceived success, then they
Hmm.
start coming. And I remember I did some ads for my AIRBRUSH on my YouTube channel, and oh, I got some real hate. Like, how can you say that's the best airbrush in the world? I saw that you used this airbrush back in 2017. And it was like, wow, they did a lot of homework, you know?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, how in depth, or it doesn't even matter what you say. Sometimes they don't believe you. You can show a screenshot of whatever, but yeah, it's hard to convince those kinds of people. We try to do the method of Gary Vee, where you kill them with kindness and you just be like really nice to them, and then they usually stop. Usually, and yeah, I told the story of how when we were running Facebook ads, oh my God, it was crazy. I hadn't received that much hate in this whole time. And but when you start running ads and putting it out there, and people who have no idea about you just have crazy things to say. But
Yeah.
let's hit up the comments here. We've been having such a great conversation that I'm getting
Yes.
comments like built up. All
Thanks.
right, we've got Brenda here. Is it showing up on the screen for you?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's showing.
I can see it.
Oh, sorry. It's like glitching on my end. It says it's so. Brenda says it's so great to meet everyone who is being interviewed. We've all been behind the scenes for so long and only known each other in the chats. Now I get to know you better.
It
Exactly.
is. That's so cool.
And Roland saying here, that's exactly what this mastermind is all about. And here, I've got a question here from Arit, who is saying, Timothy, I really admire your confidence around your art. Is that just from drawing / painting for the years? What else?
Yeah, it's my education. So I would probably, in the art world, I would probably have like the Harvard Masters of Business in the art world. So, having such great teachers, being at the best schools, and then just honing my craft, I do have that confidence. I'm not a 100% confident person, but as Arit said, around my art, I got it. It's like I know what I know. It's just it's like it's so funny because like right now I'm pretty confident in everything, but if I go to a dinner party, oh my god, I am like, please get me out of here.
It's a totally different world. Yeah, I sometimes feel like that too when I'm at like networking events and stuff, and I'm not really. I mean, I can do the small chit chat like, oh hey, how's it going? The weather is good, right? And like I can do it, but I don't really like doing it. I like getting past that
Yeah.
and going into deeper conversations. So yeah, whenever people ask me like, oh, what did you get up to this weekend? I usually say something different like about YouTube because they're not expecting it. They're usually like, oh, went to the movies, or oh, hung out at a restaurant or something. So that's why I purposely try to say something different so that it creates a different conversation instead of like, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm good, thanks. Oh, I'm good, thanks too. Great weather. That's usually like the typical kind of conversation when you're running into someone in the elevator or something.
So, do you feel like you have two worlds? Like for me, I have my artist world, and people admire me, and people they admire my work, I should say, and they treat me a certain way. But in the regular world, it's like I'm it's like I'm a whole different persona. Like when I go to work, like
Mhm.
case in point, I used to take the train back and forth into Jersey City. And then one day someone recognized me on the train from my YouTube videos.
Oh, cool.
Have you had that happen to you?
Yes, I
Isn't
have
that
had
so
it
wild?
in Vancouver. I've had it happen in a couple places. So in an elevator randomly, and it was for like when I used to sell on eBay on my tutorials. They're like, "Hey, you're a YouTuber, right? You sell on eBay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was in a coffee shop, and someone was waiting for their drinks, and they're like, "Hey, you're Jewel, right? You're on YouTube." And
Oh,
it's like it's weird because I'm like, yeah, that's me. But yeah, a couple times it's happened, not like a crazy amount, but yeah, it happens from time to time.
those worlds don't collide. You feel like there's two worlds, right? There's YouTube world, and then there's the outside world. And the outside world doesn't know it. And then when they find out, they go like, Oh my God, that's so amazing that you do that because no one does it. We think everyone's a YouTuber, right? Because
Mhm.
we're online, we're talking to YouTubers. But when we step outside our door, no one's a YouTuber.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you hit it right there. And it's like, yeah, because people are like, really? You do YouTube? Can you make money from that? How does it work with the commercials? And yeah, it's usually like the same run of questions from them.
Yeah,
That I don't mind answering. I mean, I love talking about YouTube. Usually people are interested in it when you tell them that you're a YouTuber.
yes, so true.
Got
So,
a funny one here from Roland. Lesson, keep liquids away from the live streams.
oh man, what happened?
You with your water.
Oh,
Remember you spilled the story you were
oh,
telling.
yeah, see, I'm doing it again. I should not have this near my live stream. That's so true. I'm gonna have to have you go on my live streams from now on, Roland.
Arit saying she's had it happen where someone said that they couldn't hear her, and it turns out that they had their audio on mute. So it was like an issue on their end, not on our end. And then, yeah, it messes it up.
That's the worst because then you're all flustered. Okay, let me fix this.
Oh, what? You can't hear me? Let me pull it up on my phone and like.
You're like, hello? Yeah.
And we've got Don here. Keep the dream in the stream. That's a cool saying there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Tracy saying, do you find it challenging to do your art and monitor the comments? I think you mentioned that you're fine with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I do a pastel live stream. I just started that a pastel live stream on Saturday nights now. So I have two a week. In the pastel, it's a little more in depth. So I tell people, okay, this is going to be where I'm going to be concentrated. So talk among yourselves, and I'll do it. But
Yeah.
there are times when I got to say, all right, this is it. You guys talk, and if I didn't answer your question, answer it when I come back. I say that.
Okay. And let me just quickly show some of your pieces here that you've done. Check this one out here. Have it on the screen here. This is such a cool shot. Like, that's crazy. Let me try and get rid of that comment off there. But what was the inspiration for this one?
I love when I do portraits because it's not a portrait, not a commissioned portrait. So I want different emotions. I want sadness or happiness or excitement. And
Mhm.
for this is just like she's frustrated, like, I just wanted to do something like that. And I think when we do things that are amplified, even like emotion in our work, it really stands out. I like that.
She kind of looks like the actress Blake Lively. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but she looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
her.
Gossip Girl, right?
Yes. Yeah. Which is a show I used to watch all the time back when it was on TV.
Yeah, it's a funny story because the girl I was dating, the woman I was dating, her daughter was watching Gossip Girl, and when she was over, if it's there, I'm watching Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So I'm learning about all these different Blake Lively and this other one, and they're trying to get each other in the Upper East Side of New York, and
Yes. Yeah, you nailed it. And we've got another one here. This one right here. What was the inspiration for this one?
oh, so funny, interesting story. So I was just on Pinterest, just looking around, and I found this photo, and I'm like, this is amazing. So I contacted the photographer. I found his email. I contacted him. I said, I really have to paint this. He said, sure, go ahead. And I did that on my live stream. So that was from beginning to end on my live stream, which was a lot of fun.
Wow. And this one I thought was really interesting. I definitely want to hear what this one was all about here.
This is a very interesting story. So remember I told you about those turbulent changes that happened in 2010, and this happened in 2009, and money became very important. I was a full-time artist, And but money became so important under pressure. And when that happened, I said to myself, oh yeah, I'm going to do my art, but I'm going to make money part of my art. So since money was using me, I said to myself, I'm going to use money. And so
Oh,
I put my classical model in the money. And that's what I did.
wow, that's so cool. That is such a cool story because I was like, I saw that one and that one it caught my attention because it was like, oh, this is so different, so unique. And I was like, there's got to be a story behind this one.
When I exhibited that painting, there was this billionaire that seen it and he bought it like before it even opened, before the show even opened. He says, I have to have it. And then I did a second one. The second one, it looks just like it. That wasn't even done. And he told his friend about it, and that was bought by another millionaire in Switzerland. And it was so funny because I was working at a regular job, and I was transferring money to a Swiss bank account. And
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe they heard my conversation I had with my wife at the time, and they're like, why are you transferring money to a Swiss bank account? Because most people, when they have a regular job, that's it, that's all they do.
Yeah.
But even when I had a regular job, I was always in 100% into my career. So it was, the job was always in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to do it, but it was in the way. So I always treated it like it was in the way. I was
Mhm.
good at it, but I would never. I look at it this way. This is an interesting thing. Art is like a jealous mistress.
Mhm.
She will not allow you to do other things. When you're really bitten by the painting bug like I am,
Mhm.
I can't do anything else. I just don't have the ability. I can do things to support the art, but I can't just say, today I'm just going to go into accounting.
Mhm.
No, because I still have that thirst for the art. It's quite annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, it can, yeah, it can definitely be annoying, yeah, when I got the bug for entrepreneurship, that was it. I was like, "Oh, this has taken over me," and I don't think I could ever go back. Like, I would just think about it, even though I didn't have money starting out in the beginning, really had to, scrape by, do all of these odd jobs and stuff, and, try and find the random odd jobs on Craigslist to, a t-shirt model or, just really
How cool is that? That's neat.
Yeah, it was a t-shirt company and they were opening a store and you just had to stand in line and like there were other people too and just pretend like you were going to buy something at the cashier and then you got paid $100 at the end of it.
That's
And then
great.
at the time I was like, "Oh my God, $100 just to stand here?"
That's amazing. Yes.
Cool.
So you found your calling. That's the thing. When you found your calling, then you knew there's nothing else you could do to be happy.
Yeah, I knew it right away. Right away when I decided it, I was like, this is it. And it was like it takes over you and you're like
Yes.
obsessed and that's all you see and like nothing else matters and it's like that's when you know you've connected and you found it, you found your passion.
And that is such a wonderful thing to have because you would be content being poor for the right reasons. You would be content because you're on the path. As long as you're on the path, if you're on the bottom of the hill, it's still the same path as the top of the mountain. So if
Mhm.
you're still on that path, it's okay. And that's what I say to myself. I mean, I I don't have a brand new car. Yeah, I don't go on vacations, but I know that that's not forever. But
Mhm.
I, as long as I'm on the path, I'm okay with it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. And yeah, I was extremely content with, being broke basically,
Yeah,
but doing my entrepreneurial journey. Because I would always, ask myself, I'm like, I could just go back to getting a job and just make money again and just have, a regular monthly income, have a salary again. But I just couldn't do it. Like I could not do it. And I was okay with, Getting the Whopper Juniors and getting it for like with $2 or something, or
Yes.
having the exact change for things, because that's all I could spend on it, and had to
Yeah.
portion it and do the odd jobs to get extra money, and I was okay with it. I was like, I don't get me wrong, it was hard. It was definitely hard, but there's a reason why I couldn't go back, and it's part of the journey now. I 100% made me to where I am. It was part of the journey. It was part of the steps. It was
Yeah.
part of how long it took. Yeah, it's part of the journey.
And that's amazing. And I think that's what you bring to the channel, is the fact that you could say to someone, I know where you are.
Hmm.
You could encourage them. But if you were one of those people, did your first channel, your first video, and it got 1 million subscribers, what can you really empath with, right? You couldn't really empathize with them. Is that the word? uh,
Yeah, I was like, you are saying it exactly, because when I see someone and they're struggling and they're like, can I really do this? Can I,
yeah.
make money from XYZ? I'm like, yes, you can do it. I was there. I see the path for you. Just do XYZ and just keep doing it, and you will get there. Like I can see the path for people, because yeah, I was there, and then I was there, and it was like, yeah, but it's hard for people, because they're like, how can you see it? You don't, like, it's when you're in it, and it feels like you want to give up sometimes,
Oh,
you
oh,
know.
yeah. And then one of the things about tenacity, and I wanted to talk about that, is that you could be 4 years into it, and you have I have those moments where, not that I want to give up, but I see something on LinkedIn and they have like a job offer, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be so great. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. And then you just have those moments of weakness, and you're like, no, I can't go back.
Yeah, I made a decision, and I was like, I literally told myself, I don't care how long this takes, I'm going to make the online world work for me.
Yes, like the Vikings, they burn their boats, right? When they
Yeah,
went to a land, they burned their boats so they can't leave. They got to make it work.
yeah, I can see your cat in the background.
Oh my God, where is she?
She
Oh, she always does that during like live streams.
is that your printer or something?
Yeah, that's the Epson, the one that you
I
have.
was just gonna say that looks like the
Oh,
eco tank.
yes. And so that's Suki the cat. So she gets away with doing that because I'm on the live stream. But normally she knows she would be in trouble.
Yeah, she was like going on top of the printer, and I was like, oh, what's happening over there?
And there's nothing important, just a painting on there she's sitting on. It's like, and then she'll knock down the paints, and I don't have a girlfriend currently, so I have her.
Oh my gosh. That was like when I was interviewing Rye, his dog was like jumping on his back. Do you remember
Oh
that?
my God, yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious. See, anything can happen during a live stream.
Yeah, like your cat just snooping around there. Reed saying, yes, Timothy, it's all relative. You're farther along with business knowledge than a lot of other artists, for sure.
Oh,
For sure. Like the
thanks.
fact that you even have a YouTube channel, you're doing a live stream, you sell your art through there, like you have your own merch,
Oh,
you're
thanks.
way further along.
Thanks, Reed. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jewel. That's encouraging. That's what this mastermind group is. You guys encourage, and we encourage each other.
Mm-hmm. Anna Reed's saying another one here. Some get many views immediately upon release, i.e., viral videos. Others grow over time, i.e., educational, ranking for search. Yeah, our YouTube program helps with the former category,
Yeah.
which is, I think, actually a more stable way of doing YouTube. Because if you're going the viral route, it can be extremely emotionally taxing. And I don't think it's for the long term. Like, if you look at a lot of the big YouTubers, like you said, it's unsustainable. And even if you look at like the Logan Pauls and Jake Pauls, they like Jake only posts like whenever he's doing a boxing match, and he's a boxer now.
You
right?
gotta do something, right? You gotta do something outrageous.
Yeah, like he's I not moved on from YouTube. He's still gonna post on YouTube, but like he's a boxer now. He's taken on this new thing that excites him, which I actually think is really cool. I know that he's a crazy over the top character, but I actually think it's cool that a YouTuber has become in the boxing land, is like changed the ecosystem of boxing. And like Lily Singh, who became a late night TV show
Oh
host,
yeah, she
Jimmy
was great.
Fallon. Yeah, like that was crazy. So I think it's like really cool when, you can use your platform to do something else.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Brenda is loving the conversation. It has been an encouraging conversation. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Thanks, Brenda. I saw Brenda's live stream not too long ago, and that was really great. I think she was on. Uh, I
Author
forget.
Nation.
Yes, Author Nation. Yeah,
Author
she's great
Nation with
too.
Melody.
Yes.
And amazing. It was I think that was Brenda's first live stream, and her story, like about her mother, and like I was actually tearing up like hearing about it, and it was like it she was able to write a memoir from it, and yeah, which by the way, I ordered her memoir and it should be arriving soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And let's see here, just going through the comments here. Sorry, there's so many because we were just chatting, Timothy, and then like all these comments went through. That first shot that I showed, yeah, the crazy emotion in that the woman that you airbrushed, or was that pastel? I
Oh,
can't.
that was airbrush. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool.
Thank you, Ari.
And Brenda saying that your art is incredible.
Thank you,
You
Brenda.
sell your art, correct? On
Yeah.
your
Uh,
website. What is your website?
inkflingers.com. And
Okay.
that's where you could purchase my airbrush. And then paintedglyphs.com. That's where you can buy my pastels. That's a new website, still under construction, but almost done.
Okay. Urit, if you can hear me, can you put Timothy's website link in the comments there so it's clickable in the chat? So she'll do that there.
Thanks. That's cool.
I have your YouTube channel link in the description of the video, but after this ends, then I'll put those two websites in the description.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Sorry,
I'd
we're
love,
getting this like crazy light beam right now. And like,
yeah, it's very heavenly.
yeah, I know people always say that when you get this light and they're like, whoa, looks like you're in heaven or something. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to control this kind of light.
Yeah,
So in the summertime, you just get what you get.
I know. And in the winter, so I know, like in the winter time, you guys are like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it's complete pitch black out the
Yeah.
window.
I know. I actually used to get really annoyed with the sun because it was like it's constantly moving. We're on this like corner part here and just like constantly moving throughout the day. So it's like it's hard to get consistent with the lighting when you're filming, but we're just like, whatever, it is what it is, just film.
Have you ever filmed something stop motion? I've done this where I did like speed paintings,
Oh,
and
okay.
and then you can actually see the sun moving during the speed paint.
Oh,
Have you ever done that where you can actually see the sun moving the shadows? Have you had that happen?
I haven't. So I used to do like stop motion when I was younger, but with like clay figurines. I would mold them, move them, and then like film a clip and then move them, and then so it's kind of like they do a scene and stuff.
Wow.
Um,
You're an artist. You're a real artist. My God, you've done everything. That's amazing.
at a very basic beginner level. I mean, I think to myself, if I dedicate myself to like one type of art, I think I do have the drive and the passion to do it.
And the
But
talent.
I do like doing like many different kinds of art. So I'm like okay with, whatever weird ideas I come up with for art.
Cool. Do you have any of those videos still around of this claymation?
I probably at my parents' house, it's like it was on a VHS, so I would need to like play it on VHS and then record it on my phone, and then right, and then get it that way. But yeah, I do want to get some clips from high school and stuff. There's also like some videos of me and Arit in high school as well.
Oh my God, that would be great to post on the
I
mastermind.
know, that would be like, wow, because we were like, you know, we're kids, right? And then it's like what we were like back then.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now let's see here. Arit saying, I think that's very true about any art form. She won't leave you alone and keeps calling, whether it's writing, music, painting, etc.
That's why they call it a calling, right? Because it's calling you. And so I know, like, Orit's an amazing singer, so I know she has that for her singing and her music. I can definitely see it.
Yeah, so Arit's like always singing, like whenever like if there's a song playing, you know, you're at a mall or something, a song's on, she'll like try and harmonize with it, sing
Wow.
hooks, try and change it, you know, do different things with her voice, and it's like, yeah, she's gonna be coming out with some new music soon, so we'll
That's
definitely be sharing
amazing.
that.
Her music's incredible. If someone hasn't checked out her music, definitely check it out. It's really a great voice. I can't sing to save my life. I mean, I'm the worst singer that ever lived. I don't even sing in the shower. Don't even do that.
You don't even do like if your favorite song comes on, you don't.
No, I'll just mouth the lip, do lip syncing, but that's it. That's how bad I am.
Yeah, I'm not a good singer either. The closest thing would probably be rapping. I
Oh,
can do
cool.
like an Eminem rap sometimes,
Wow.
or a Notorious B.I.G. rap from the 90s, but
Wow,
that's about
cool. No, that's really cool. That's excellent.
it. We've got here Don saying, the view from the mountain changes as you climb.
Yes,
That's a good one.
yes.
Yeah. And what would I take? So that's a really good quote. And to me, what does that mean to me? Because there's this really hard mountain that people climb here called the Grouse Grind. And it's about 2.8, 2.9 kilometers, but it's pretty vertical. And it's quite challenging, like if it's your first time. And even like seasoned people, everyone's like panting by the time they get to the top.
Oh,
It's
man.
definitely like a full on workout just to get to the top.
Wow.
And it can take, I mean, the fastest person it takes, I think, maybe 40 minutes or so, but they're running and they're like going so fast. It's literally like climbing a mountain.
Oh, my God.
And just to give an idea of how tall this actually is, like the tourists, they'll take a gondola up, but if you want to do the grouse grind, you like literally climb, like walk up slash climb up because there's some parts where there's no steps. And so when you're going up this mountain, it's sectioned off into 4 sections. There's like quarter one, two, three, and four, and you're just wanting to see the next quarter and the next quarter. You're not thinking about quarter four. You're just like, okay, let me just get to this first quarter here. I just want to see the number one. And then you're like, okay, I'm 25% in this. And then once you get to the 50, you're like, I can't turn back because I'm already halfway. And
Yeah.
it's also physically harder to go down. So like I always recommend to people to just get to the 50 because then you can't turn back. Like you have this kind of like mind shift that you can't go back down at this point. If you don't make it to the number one, then yeah, you're more likely to change your mind and go back down.
A lot like when people have YouTube videos, when they don't get to like the first 100 subscribers ever,
Mm-hmm.
that's usually when they quit. But once
Yeah.
you get that momentum, it's easier to keep going.
Yeah. And even Brenda, like she's about to hit 500 subscribers. That's
That's
half a
amazing.
thousand. That's crazy.
Yes, that's really cool. Really
And
cool.
we've got Tamil in the house. Hey, Tamil, haven't seen you in a bit. People are loving the show. Ari put the link here in the chat.
Oh, great.
And so those are clickable in the live chat. So you guys definitely check out Timothy's merch and your prints, right? You sell prints?
Um, I do, but not on the website just yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. And Roland's asking, what is the meaning of flingers?
Oh, so it's like, we spray ink. I could have called it ink sprayers, but I figured just like flinging the ink, it was kind of cool. Like,
Oh,
so like, and that's what I call my followers, ink flingers.
oh, nice. Ink flingers.
Yeah, just like fling that ink.
I was like emphasizing the G too much, so I was saying like ink flingers.
Like fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, our name is Essetino. People half the time people say Essentino or had the Essentio. They don't know how to pronounce it, but it's all good.
Yes.
Jojo says you can say been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. That's a funny one.
Yes.
That is a t-shirt idea, by the way.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Yeah. Oh, browse grind is actually a 2.5. Okay. So it's actually even shorter, but it's very vertical. And it never gets easier. It never gets easier. I've done this mountain like, I don't know, 20 times, but it never gets easier.
Oh, man. That's so cool.
We've got here Braden saying, you're not allowed to walk down. You have to take the gondola. I know the rule is that you're not supposed to walk down, but people still do. I've seen it many times.
Wow.
And they just kind of like go right in front of you. Some people who are really hardcore, they run up the mountain and like they're really fit and stuff, and then they run down the mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they just, that's their workout. It's like going up and then going down, and it's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's intense.
They probably have a hard time slowing down, running down the mountain.
Yeah, you got to keep the momentum or you're just going to tumble down.
Oh, that would not be fun.
No, it's not. It's like definitely, sometimes some tourists underestimate like that this is an actual mountain, and so they'll come in flip-flops or shoes that are really not for, like you need like an actual shoe, like a running shoe at the very minimum. The professionals wear like, like the hiking type of shoe, but definitely not flip-flops.
Oh my God. So this is the little troublemaker. See?
Oh, so cute. Her fur looks so like soft and smooth.
She is a cutie. She never grew. She's actually like 4 years old, but she never grew.
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
Me emotionally. Same thing.
Wow. Well, we are approaching, actually. The time's gone by so fast here.
Yeah.
We're at the 1 hour 25. Any last words, advice that you want to give to the people?
Basically, if this is what you want to do, don't let anyone steer you away from it, even yourself. And fear is an insidious adversary. And I dealt with that probably about 4 months ago. And when that happens, know that fear is just false education appearing real. You're going to do it and you're going to make it. But if there are certain moments going on this route that are real, milestones, those pivotal points, at that point, just make sure that you have the fortitude to keep going, because a lot of people don't. But you could be, I remember when I was in college, and I said this, and they said, it was an orientation, look to the left and look to the right of you. They're not going to be here. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you saying? And they're saying that 2 out of 3 of you are not going to make it. But you just have to, I just say to myself, I'm going to be that 1 out of 3 that's going to make it.
Wow. So they said, like, this is when you were in art school, and they said 2 out of 3 will not make it with their art.
No, 2 out of 3. And it's funny, the numbers is more like 1 out of 400.
Wow.
That's how, it's
really,
that's
how, like, you really do need to persevere through that. And that's crazy. And that's an amazing message. Arit says, loved having you on the show. You're very humble. Yeah, you have a very humble energy, very down to earth. Like I said, the conversation just like flew by. It was like so fast. And it was like, laughing. Like I like it when it's like we could have like laughter and like,
Yeah.
just joke around about stuff, don't have to be totally serious, but at the same time, give golden nuggets to people, share our stories, and just like, have people have a good time watching the show, right? That's what we wanted this whole interview series to do. So thank you so much, Timothy, for joining us on episode 105 of the Essetino Weekly Mastermind. And it's good to finally, chat with you on video. I've seen you before. I've been on your live streams, but to be a guest here was very amazing. So thank you so much. And we've got all your links in the description. I'll add your 2 other websites in there after this stream.
The honor is all mine. I am totally honored. And this is one of those highlights in one's life that, yes, it's only an hour, but it's those moments where you just feel good about yourself. And that's what I got from this. So thank you.
Amazing. All right, some last ones here. People are loving it. They like the show. Braden says, I bet you're great at a dinner party. All you
Yes,
have to do is show your art, and then boom, that like that's a great conversation starter.
that's true. Thank you guys. It's been really wonderful hanging out with everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. PST for episode 106 of the Essetino Weekly Mastermind.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.